Hi, good morning. My name is John and this is my wife Anne. We've been members of this church for more than 7 years and we have a testimony which we would like to share with you, but please bear with us because the testimony covers God's work in our life that spread over a period of 3 years for it to materialize, and we want to share with you how things worked out in the end.
You see, what happened is that 5 years ago I had a stroke. And after the stroke, my usual routine would be in the morning, I would go down to the garden. We live in a condo called Jasmine Towers. There was one day, it was like the normal morning. I was walking around taking in the fresh air and everything. My maid was with me as usual. So I was walking the garden and God said, look up, and our neighbor building is 5 tone, a very high-end kind of condominium. God is so good. So what happened?
Okay, so when she came back and told me what God said to her, and I said, good, we need upmarket condo. We've been staying in Jasmine Towers for 15 plus years, and we can also do with a much more better condo than we have. The problem is, who's going to pay for it? So I'm not a wealthy man, I still run a small business, and I'm hoping that the business will blossom, and I'm hoping that out of this, all this, I would have the funds to move ourselves to an apartment or a condo, very much like what they're selling in 5 Stone next door to us. I was dealing with a commodity called carbon credits. I don't know if you know, it's something to do with global warming. I've been with it for about more than 10 years. And during this period, I started a consultancy that is, I would say, a one-stop consultancy that can do a lot of work for customers, for clients. I had found buyers of the carbon credits, which was committed to for the next 10 years. And if this deal went through, we would be looking at something like, for myself, something in excess of 1.25 million ringgit a year for 10 years. So I think with that, it's a good chance that I can afford to buy the condo that God has asked her whether she wanted. But unfortunately for us, the whole market collapsed, which meant that everything that we had planned for was wiped out. So, as is my usual practice, when something like this happened, I would write and inform my children. I told them that this is happening, this is the situation, I would do my best, and by the grace of God, I should be able to get out of it. About a month after I wrote to my children, I got an email back from my daughter in Melbourne, and she said, look, we know it's tough. What we'll do is, she discussed with my son in Singapore, we will keep you whole for at least a couple of years until you are able to get back on your feet, and we'll see how it goes from there. But without any of our knowledge, she also went ahead and found and bought a condo in Taman Tun Dr. Ismail, which he intended it for us to stay. When she finally concluded the deal, she came and told me to move. And I said to her, and I said to her, why should we move? We're happy where we are. And that started World War III for us. My daughter and I got into a very heated argument, and I said, look, I've been financially independent for so many years. It's just that I'm in a bind right now, and I think by the grace of God, I will get out of it. But I don't want to move. But things really got ugly, and she made 2-3 trips down. Finally, she even came with her husband, my son-in-law, is an Aussie lung specialist serving in Melbourne in one of the major hospitals. And he told me, he said, John, look, I know how you feel, but you haven't even looked at what your daughter has done for you. I know I haven't. He said, why don't you have a look at it, and then you tell us what you want, or whether you want it or not. So Ann and I went, had a look at the condo, and I was surprised. It was very nice. Not only that, she did all the necessary renovations to ensure that non-slip tiles are in. We have safety bars in the bathroom, ramps for the easy access for the wheelchair. Everything was done. So finally I said, okay, it's good, we'll take it. But what do I do with our condo? And my daughter said to me, she said, that's your condo. It's up to you whether you want to rent it, keep it, or sell it. So we decided to sell it, and we sold it. And out of that proceeds, we are now living on it. But God is great. Just recently, God opened 2 new doors for me in terms of business, although I promised my children when they bailed me out, so to speak, I said I will retire. I was then nearly 80 years old when I said that, 3 years ago. So I did retire, but I was bored. My networking partners in Singapore and overseas would not leave me alone. They kept pestering me with new projects, and I took one on, and I think it looks promising. God is working again behind my back to help me get back on my feet. So with that, I think we might be able to salvage ourselves, because I'm still bent on asking God for 2 things. My final request to God is, one is to make my wife well again so that she can function normally without any help from anybody. And 2 is to ensure that both of us will live to our last days financially independent. Although my children love me and love us and are willing to help, this is not the way I want it. This is not the way we live. This has always been the way that I've looked at, that I don't want to be a burden to anybody except God. And I've been a burden to God all this time, so He knows my needs, He knows my wants, and I think He knows how to salvage and help me. Thank you.